This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
A national lotto could possibly be coming on stream soon as web shops have been recently regulated.
But as Janae Noel Ferguson tells us tonight, one web shop operator believes government can do without this form of gaming.
The newly enacted Gaming Act, which legalized web shops, also makes provisions for the establishment of a national lottery, but under the minister's discretion. In 2013, Bahamians also voted against the establishment of a national lottery during the gaming referendum. But one web shop industry stakeholder opined that the government need not have its hands tied with a national lottery.
A national lottery operates on a totally different level because of the volume that it requires, the amount of capital that it requires, and for it to be exciting, it has to be a regular draw. It has to be so everybody could feel a win and whatnot.
Devon Jones, CEO of Fantasy Games, telling ZNS News that a lottery has built-in socially responsible benefits, including sports and culture funding. But he says, as it stands, the new law already makes web shop operators socially responsible.
I think based on what the government is requiring us to do in the RFP process is do a lot of what lotteries would do in terms of participating in educational programs, participate in giving back. We have a large percentage of the consideration for the RFP is how good your plan is for giving back. So, I mean, we have a very extensive plan that we're working on in terms of giving back into the community and things that we're going to be doing that are sustainable. So I think that this does the government well. Instead of taking on that burden of running a national lottery, you have competent business people who are quite capable of doing it, allow them to do it, and then you just benefit from what you tax them.
Nevertheless, the web shop boss says that while the process to legalize is underway, he hopes that the industry will be able to advance to include casino gaming for Bahamians.
To say whether we could get to the level of slots, that very well may happen. But I think the government simply needs to see that the operators are capable and are qualified to run this type of business.
Now, Minister of Tourism with responsibility of gaming, Obi Wilchcombe, has reported that a national lottery and casino gaming has not been ruled out. Janae Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
And still talking gaming, government has collected more than $5 million in back taxes from 12 web shops after the Gaming Bill 2014 went into effect on November 24th. The deadline for paying the arrears was December 9th, the same day web shops were to provide full disclosure of their revenue. December 8th was also the deadline for web shops to submit sworn affidavits. Minister with responsibility for gaming, the Honorable Obi Wilchcombe, says web shops have been compliant as government attempts to regulate the sector. He says with the way things are progressing, the Gaming Board is on target to issue the first set of licenses in May 2015.
Of the 12, 11 have come forward with their affidavits. There are about 586 companies that have shops, 586 shops that open, 8 stores have closed. By and large, they've been very cooperative. They've worked very well with us, and we feel very good about it.
Minister Wilchcombe says the Gaming Board is looking over those affidavits before they are handed over to the police. He says government is satisfied with the work of the Gaming Board as well as the consultants brought in to work along with them and web shops. The minister added that most of the web shop operators have expressed an interest in securing a license to continue operating their businesses.
It appears at the moment that 11 have come in with their affidavits saying that they want to move on and continue the business. That's what the numbers look like this morning as I speak to you. It could change by this afternoon, but we're sticking to our schedule, and any extension that we have given or been lax on, we're trying to ensure that we stick to all the scheduling that we put in place.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Your Royal Fidelity Business News, I'm Jared Higgs. Minister of State for Finance, the Honorable Michael Halkitis, is defending the government's decision to assume responsibility for $100 million worth of non-performing loans at the Bank of the Bahamas. Minister Halkitis noted that as a result of the intervention, they were able to reverse approximately $49 million in loan losses. The State Minister for Finance also says the government has secured the bank's liquidity with $43 million worth of deposits. In other business news, Minister of Financial Services, the Honourable Ryan Pinder, has resigned from his ministerial post. The resignation takes effect at the end of the year as the 40-year-old minister, who is the youngest serving in the cabinet, joins Deltec International Banking Group. Prime Minister the Right Honourable Perry Christie said Pinder has accomplished much for the financial services industry in a comparatively short period of time, and for that he commends him wholeheartedly. And in international business news, global oil prices are at a 5-year low of $65 per barrel as high supply continues to drive down oil prices. While some large companies such as BP and ExxonMobil are seeing reduction in their profits, others such as airline companies who benefit from the lower fuel are seeing a positive impact to their bottom line. The U.S. Energy Department projects that if current projections hold, the average consumer in the United States will save $550 next year. This has been your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Jared Higgs.
A local home for the elderly is issuing a plea for assistance as expenses are pile high. CEO
of Good Samaritan Senior Citizens Home, Reverend Dr. Kendall Capron, says it's costly running a home for the elderly.
He's now appealing to the wider community to lend a helping hand.
With operation costs at the Good Samaritan Senior Citizens Home totaling approximately $6,000 per month, the home's CEO is appealing to the public to be more charitable this Christmas season. Reverend Dr. Kendall Capron and his wife run the facility that currently houses 40 residents. Although the home has been open since 1999 and receives about 5% of its budget from the government, Capron is soliciting for even more financial help.
We wash 3 and 4 times, sometimes 3 times a day. Sometimes if it happens, it's more. And right to today, the light bill is $6,000 because there's so much washing and cleaning.
Capron, who believes the home should be kept in a decent standard, admits that people offer donations. However, because of the home's exterior, some feel assistance is not needed.
It had to be decent. You don't want your mother or your father going in a filthy place. You want the surrounding to be as nice as where they come from or nicer. So come and help me.
Capron revealed that the senior citizens' home accepts anyone in need, including homeless persons. At present, there is a great need for adult diapers. The facility, he says, has too many challenges to name and sometimes must deal with the expense of burying the elderly, all adding to its financial burdens.
We have people inside here who would die here, and the relatives will not claim the body. It falls on the home. It falls on the home because they come from the Good Samaritan home. So we have to step up.
And while he is appealing for help, whether it be monetary help, help with supplies, or volunteerism, Capron asks that family members take the time to visit their relatives. Of the 40 residents, he says only 5 get frequent visits.
Come and see your mother. Come and see your father. Come in this Christmas time. Come in and see them. Make them feel good.
Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Bahamians are being admonished to adhere to the government-imposed closed season on the Nassau grouper so that future generations can also benefit. Executive Director of the Bahamas Reef Environment Educational Foundation, Kasarina McKinney-Lambert, says the closed season from December 1st to February 28th is crucial as it is the spawning season for the species. She says it's also important that fishermen on family islands where it is not so easy to police uphold the law. She says the fish sometimes swim more than 100 miles to visit a spawning site, and several of those sites have already been fished out in the country.
It's really a question of giving up eating this fish for 3 months out of the year that will enable us to enjoy it for generations to come, versus eating it during this time period when the fish is spawning, making the next generation of fish, and potentially losing the fish forever. There are many other countries in our region that have lost the Nassau grouper. They don't have it at all to enjoy, and this is something we don't want to happen for the Bahamas. So we're in a lucky situation. There are so many fish species we can eat here. We encourage people to try something else.